In this video, I'm going to be comparing the two types of snap swivels you can buy, the barrel snap and the ball bearing snap. Key difference is there's a ball bearing in this snap swivel versus the barrel swivel, which doesn't have a ball bearing in it. Now, the two differences between these snaps is that the barrel swivel, under high pressure, if you're pulling heavy drag, this will not be able to rotate. It's not designed to rotate under high pressure, so you'll actually sometimes be faced with actual line twist, which essentially cancels out what the swivel's actually supposed to be doing, which is to stop that. So unless you're fishing light tackle, I do not recommend using this. This is a bad type of swivel. I'd only use this for a maximum of 20-pound class. Whereas with a ball bearing, even under very high pressure, this is still able to rotate very easily without any problems. So if you're fishing heavier than 30-pound outfits, then go with a ball bearing snap. There is no point of going with a barrel because the barrels are much bigger and also they're not as good. Now, for my favorite type of brand for ball bearing snaps, there are two brands that I use for ball bearing. I use the Sampo, and I also use the billfisher ball bearing snaps. Now, these are two equal line classes. This is an 80-pound ball bearing snap, and this is an 85-pound ball bearing snap. Billfish do not do their snap swivels to regular line class, to regular numbers. They're just like that. But however, as you can see, this is slightly stronger, but it's much smaller. So I really like to go with billfisher snaps because they're much smaller, and also I just believe that the smaller amount of terminal gear you have, the more likely you're going to catch a fish. It may be only a small percent increase of chance of catching a fish, but I just believe that just the smallest amount of terminal gear you have, the better off you're going to be. The only benefit I believe there is in using sampo snaps is that they have a much bigger opening to clip your leaders in and your lures on, as you can see, because if you're using thick chafe tube on your lures, this is able to fit in more nicely. But however, with this I just believe that if I need a much bigger snap tool, I'll just upgrade to the biggest snaps by billfisher. Now, as you can see, that 80-pound billfisher snap was much smaller than the 80-pound sampo. When I do a side-by-side comparison, this billfisher snap is 260-pound test breaking strain versus this sampo, which is 80-pound. So as you can see, there's a huge size difference, and if I needed a bigger snap swivel, I just go with the billfisher over the sampo. So as you can see, there is a huge difference in size for the sampo and the billfisher. Sampo is better for thick chafe tubes. However, if you're going to need big snap swivels, I recommend just going to the billfisher snaps. They're stronger, smaller, and I just found that they're much more reliable. I'd only use sampos in tournament fishing. And you can buy billfisher snaps all the way from 80-pound, 85-pound breaking strain all the way up to like 660 pounds test snaps, and this is a 540-pound. So if you need to buy some snap swivels, get the billfisher if you're going to use ball bearing snaps. They're the strongest, smallest, and the most reliable I've ever found. So if you found this video helpful, hit the like button below. If you have any questions, write them in the comment section below and subscribe to my channel.